It's recording. So, this is an amazing movie that we made. I feel this was like one of the best movies I ever watched. I see the whole thing in sequence now.
And you're not re-recording over what you're talking
Yeah,
about, right?
right. Yeah,
Okay.
with this camera, it's pretty much impossible.
Digital, eh?
Yeah. Well, it's not really that digital. It's kind of similar to that one, but you'd have to make an effort because when you stop, it creates a completely new file, and when you start, it starts a new place, and you have to say no, erase the old one.
Right.
Whereas there, you could just roll
Right.
right over it.
Thank you.
So what the last thing that we just watched is the most profound thing in life, if you ask me, which is that you were saying that people, when they get power, they abuse it, and that they seem to want to make people their whipping boy or their pain
Like,
dump.
mm, their emotional sounding boards.
Their
I don't
emotional sounding boards, right?
know.
They're, in physics, it's called the heat sink, where you have this energy that you want to dump somewhere, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so that energy is just going to go wherever it's going to go. But then this is where free will comes in, you know? Where this is great. I can look at you here. That's almost as good as looking straight at you, yeah. Um, I do like looking at you better for real. But anyway, um, you have a choice as to how to go into a situation. Now you voiced the last thing you said was, well, it is what it is at the end of the day, and then I said, well, you know, you can walk into a situation with the default mode, which in computer language, the default mode is just whatever's going to happen is going to happen. You know, but then you have a choice. You can, you know, say, no, I want to take these options. And so you said, well, life's a war, and you have your mission. And in a sense, that's like the grandest thing of all. If you can find a mission, that's the whole point of life. You know, I mean, you jump right to the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
But your vibe, your attitude on that, still, there's more stuff that you might realize to know that it isn't quite so bleak as a war. I used to think the same way, that it's a war. I was totally made that was like life's a war, and that's the way I saw it. But then after reading like Milton Erickson and realizing that you can influence situations with your attitude, you can seed things into things, that by thinking a certain thing and saying a certain thing and maybe putting on a certain song or just behaving a certain way, that you can start influencing a situation. And this is where life begins. This is where the war ends and the play begins. Dramedy. You can take the drama and make it, you know, dramatic, but you can make it comedy, and you can, you know, drum it up, and you're a player in the band. You're no longer at the concert dancing. You're now on stage. You picked up a guitar and you're putting your own thing into it, you know? And so that's, in a sense, you know, a little more optimistic thing than it's a war. But the mission is the thing. That's one of the things I love about you. And that's what I was saying to Danielle today. Like, you know, she's obsessed with this Islamic thing. And it took me a while to realize that it's not about the Islamic thing. It's about she's on a mission to find God, to find meaning, to find some ultimate secret to the universe.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And you are too. And so, and I am too, you know? And so, what is that secret? And the secret, in a sense, is to realize you have free will, and that your will is powerful, and that you can influence things in lots of ways that you don't realize. And the place to start is with yourself. And then when you do that, you start influencing everything, because this is the quantum mechanics, the observer effect. The observer influences what they observe. You look at somebody and you smile, and you influence them that way. You look at somebody and you grimace, and you influence them that way. Right? It's pretty obvious, the observer effect, you know. And then, you know, you can expand from that. You can, you know, have in your mind, you may have heard this thing, but I heard something new to it. They gave a teacher a group of kids and said these kids are all gifted, but they had been tested to be average. I think we talked about this before. Do you remember this story? This was an experiment. And so the teacher treated them as if they were gifted, and when tested later, the kids tested gifted. So by believing they were gifted, she gave them more exciting stuff and thought more exciting thoughts about them. Well, they did another experiment, I just found out about it last week, where they took a gifted group and told the teacher that they were average, and when they retested them, they tested average.
It's so weird.
I mean, it's like, talk about the Nazi nightmare, but, you know, it seems like it ought to be illegal to do that, but, you know. So this is the choice we have. And in the scope of walking into Tanya, Dave, Obama, life, the devil, God, anything, me, you, your own subconscious, as you approach it with the attitude that I can influence this, it isn't what it is, it's what I make it. That's the secret to life. I mean, you have to observe it, like that Queen of Discs card that we read, where it said, only by observing a situation and getting in tune with it can you then influence it. I mean, that's partly true. But your immediate belief system, either you believe you're a victim or a victor. Either you believe in glory or gory, slaughter or laughter, fun, pun, or spun, done. You know? So that's the, so, you know, in any situation when these people are making you, and they're becoming emotional vampires, feed them before they get hungry with what you want to feed them. Because that's really the bottom line. Everyone is starving. We're all reduced to being emotional vampires, where we're sucking blood for any kind of sensation at all. And if you can give them entertainment, then they're going to make them happy. If you wait for them to make the move, they're going to suck your blood, because they don't know any better. That's all they've been trained to do, is, you know, criticize and suck and you know, and do that. Pillage. To rage your vial. You don't want to rage your vial, you want to sip your vial.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think, like, imagine if you had a gizmo, like goggles, that told you fortune cookie, tarot type of stuff when you meet people, and you had that little extra little edge. You know? Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah.
You look at this guy and you say,
Right off the bat.
should I give him this $10? Is he going to come back with the goods? And the devil card comes up. And you're like, I think I want to see the stuff in your hand before I give you the money. Whereas if, like, the star card comes up and you're feeling it, of course you always have to trust your feelings too. And that's part of the thing of the tarot, is that, to me, it helps you tune in. Fortune cookie, you know? And sometimes it challenges you. You know, you could say, What causes the card to come up? It's either your subconscious, God, or the devil, or a demon, or somebody else. What's causing the card to come up? And then after that, how do you deal with it? And then, where it starts to awaken parts of you too, where your inner gut starts to, because to me that's how the fortune cookie really is geared in a way, is to hit at your gut. It somehow resonates with something that's going to awaken you. Like when you asked about reward.
Lost recordings.
Right, you lost your
Started with
recording and
rewards.
started with reward. Right. Now that's like a perfect example of how it rewords things in a reward to reward you, to word, and see things in a different way. Did we smoke this yet? And to me, like this whole method of like live recording, throwing the tarot cards in, the music, random, like I did this. I did an I Ching. I got to show you this. This is amazing. I asked the I Ching, "What do you think of our reading for Tanya? Did we succeed? Was it valuable?" Let me see, where is it? And it said something like, gentle penetration. Here it is. Through circumstances you cannot achieve much of a lasting nature. You can merely prepare. Through a kind persuasion you may bring those around you to your wavelength. Here, hold on a second. You want to read it, and I'll video the text of it.
Through circumstances you cannot achieve much of a lasting nature. You can merely prepare. Through kind persuasion you may bring those around you to your wavelength. The time to take a strong line is not here yet. Forcing doesn't help. You are at a dead end. Do your best to accept the situation. Approach your circumstances the way of the steady, gentle wind. Don't be impulsive, and in a well-considered way, move step by step towards your goal. Ceaselessly make it clear to everyone what the goal is. Virtually unnoticed, you can reach your goal by calmly and steadily moving forward. I feel like that's what I'm doing with the recording. I'm telling everybody I'm recording you, this is what I'm doing. The Chaos Research Project is in motion.
Yeah, and the way we did the reading with her, we really kind of wanted to get her into our wavelength in a sense. And we weren't going to try to make any major change, but we built upon her inner strength, recognizing her as a star. I mean, this is like right out of Milton Erickson's book, his mind, is recognize the person's strengths. Don't worry about their problems. They'll solve their problems if you make them strong enough.
Yeah.
That's like the secret. Like I realized that with turmeric. They have a thing where normally people think, well, you have a disease, then you have to find a specific cure for that disease. But in reality, turmeric cures 400 diseases. It cures all diseases because it makes you stronger and you just repel all diseases.
Yeah.
So it's the whole idea is this central process of make yourself stronger, make the person stronger, find the good. Its cup is half full. And that positive attitude. And this thing here, ceaselessly make it clear to everyone what the goal is. Virtually unnoticed, you can reach your goal by calmly and steadily moving forward. It's such a beautiful thing to think that, you don't have to be outrageous. You just have this thought in your mind that everyone's a genius, everyone's going to wake up, you're going to help them wake up, you love them, they love you, we're all angels, and we're all going to learn to fly together. And with that patience and persistence and that goal, well, gee, isn't that everyone's goal? You're really, you know, you don't have to have a specific thing. You have to do this with Dave, or, you should do this with your boss, or, you know what I mean? They'll figure all that out just by telling them they're a star. It's like this was like the classic Essence reading for everyone.
Yeah.
But she's an exceptional person, that just burst into song like that. There aren't many people. There's some people like that, but they're rare and they're wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And they serve as an example, that they're, the shining ones that we want to get everybody to be like that. Just turn life into magic and song and laughter and see the positives, Isn't that cool? Didn't the I Ching kick it?
Mm-hmm.
Should I turn it off? Anything more? Thank you. Thank you.